Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sacred Exchange.
Yes, hello everybody. We are back. It is, just about September.
Yes.
A lot has happened, a lot of things have transpired. We've been busy. I'm sure you have throughout the summer. As you can see, we've kind of had to change to the name of the show.
Yes, we have shifted to the Sacred Exchange, where souls meet, hearts transform, and love leads the way. And I think we were both feeling at the end of June when we did our last live session that the idea of creating conscious relationships, while that's very much what we're wanting to do, that the name was actually kind of creating barriers for people.
Yeah, it was not very inclusive, right? It almost was creating conscious relationships, almost felt like we were talking to couples or specific, and we wanted to open it up and be a little bit more broad about what we're talking about. And that, yes, while these things that we talk about are,
They come up in
yeah,
relationships.
but it's not the sole purpose of us having these discussions with you.
Yes, and so the sacred exchange actually offers us the ability to just talk about more sacred things. And that's really what it takes to create a conscious relationship is the opening of the heart center. It's the opening of the truth of who you are, of what you find sacred within yourself, finding that sacredness within a partner or within a friendship or within your work even, to find that sacredness through that. And so this is about us tapping into that where we can share what is on our soul's deepest expressions and where hopefully our hearts are transforming, your hearts are transforming, and we're allowing love to lead the way, instead of the ego mind or instead of the positionalities or the limiting beliefs or whatever, that it's all coming back to love.
Yeah, I think we want, again, wanted to open up that spectrum, right? And give everybody that opportunity to have an experience and have the willingness to share with us as well as us share with you, and the willingness for us to go deeper into deeper things and not be confined to this couples or relationship
Yes.
barrier or relationship box that we had created. So,
Yeah, and I think maybe even that's just a great invitation to people. It's like when we decided to start doing these in November of last year,
yeah.
and really not committing to them until March or April, I think, somewhere in there. We didn't realize at the time that we were actually creating a limitation around it by going, this is creating conscious relationships. But we had people that were saying, well, I don't actually have someone that I'm in a relationship with, or, this won't work with my partner. And so the idea that it was connected to relationships was like, it was a limitation in itself. And while we're still very much about like, let's create more positive relationships while we're here on earth with one another, again, I think it comes back to that sacred relationship that you have with yourself.
Absolutely.
But that's the basis, the foundation of every single relationship that you're going to have in life. And I think this new title gives us that opportunity to go on that journey within and to reconnect with that sacredness within.
Yeah. And another thing that we witnessed or saw within watching our videos and whatnot was we wanted to be a little more relaxed. We wanted to be a conversation, right? We wanted to be about, not, hey, oh, you should do this or you should do that. We wanted to be more of the conversations that we participate in between us and sharing those conversations with you. And some of the revelations we've had, it's quite amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
the synchronicities that we've seen in the last, oh well, in a long forever and a day, right?
Yeah.
We are always seeing synchronicities, but they just seem to be turned up high these days.
Yeah.
So
And I think we both, and anybody who does Facebook Lives or does recorded material or whatever might experience this too. It's like what we've noticed is when we're just the two of us and we're sitting down to have a conversation, we have these conversations that just seem to elevate, elevate, elevate. And yet while we were trying to get on here and to record and we're doing it live. And, you know, my brain is like looking at how many people are viewing and how many people are commenting and what are you saying and what am I saying? And it becomes like a performance-based conversation instead of like a sacred exchange between the two of us. It's like it became work,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it became a task or,
a performance
yeah.
of we have to show up this way or whatever.
Yeah, and that was not our intent. And nor, it's not, it was authentic in the words that we were speaking, but not authentic to what we wanted this to be.
And not authentic to how we're used to
Yeah,
experiencing it with each other,
yeah,
where it was almost like the tension would build before we got on live, and then we'd kind of relax and ugh, when it was done, and that's not how our conversations go. So we're going to be doing things a little bit different this season, and I think hopefully finding our own comfortability in this and having the conversations that we have privately to bring those to the forefront here and to show you guys, I guess, who we are.
yeah, who we are. And really it is having those enlightening conversations that we have
Yeah,
and sharing it with the community, right? Sharing with everybody.
yeah,
And hopefully continuing that conversation outside of here with those people as well. It's just really reinforcing the community and where everybody's at. And I think it's supporting your mental health. It's supporting everybody's journey in just sharing these conversations. That's all.
yeah. So that's why the name change.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did take a 2 month break over the summer, and we've been going through a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. I'm going to go in chronological order here. Jon has become a certified compassion key practitioner, which is very exciting, and he does host such amazing space for anyone who's looking for a compassion key session. You guys can always reach out to us. His calendar is currently open on Mondays.
Yeah.
And at this current time, there is no charge to receive a compassion key session with him because he's still kind of building up his
So if
practice.
you want to book with me, it's free. I get practice. I'm not perfect by any means, but I do know how to do compassion key and I do hold space and I do really think that compassion key is something that um, more people need to know about. So it's something I do believe in and it's something that it's there and it's free. So if you're looking for some help,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because I know for some people, you know, they do want the help, but they go, money's the object right now. And this is an invitation that if money has been the reason that you haven't been able to reach out for the help that you need, this is a really great opportunity to be able to receive the help and honestly give him feedback. That's the payment,
Yeah.
is give him
Yeah.
feedback, help him to grow. So that way he can build in his practice and you also get some help and some compassion for whatever it is that might be coming up for you. So that was like first yay thing.
Yeah.
And secondly, we got married. So yes, July 26th of this year, we finally tied the knot after almost 18 and a half years of talking about it. Yeah.
And yeah, let's put things perspective. We both, not that we had a fear of commitment or anything like that, because have both been very committed to each other, and that's never been really a discussion. It was more of, do we need to do this? How is this going to be done? When is this going to be done? Does it really matter? It wasn't never, oh, I don't want to, or
Well, and in all honesty, I did have some I don't want to, not about getting married to you, just around the idea of marriage itself, what marriage meant in my mind and what it like it. And I had a compassion piece session around it, not with you, but with one of my trade partners. And it was like marriage became this thing that was like historically, I'm no longer the owner of my own body. And so I had to let go of what those thoughts and ideas and beliefs were and actually be honest with myself about what do I want to be in a marriage,
Yeah.
with a man, and what does that look like, and how can I still participate and still have sovereignty within my own being as a woman in order to get married, which sounds kind of dramatic. And it felt kind of traumatic even when I was in the compassion key session. And yet it was like historically, women have just lost their voices in marriage. And I could even look at my first marriage and go, yeah, that's exactly what happened there too. But I was the one holding on to the imprint, so it had no choice but to happen.
Yeah. I mean, we
So
both came from rough marriage, like first marriage, not rough, not like extreme, but it
they
wasn't
didn't work out. That's
right. Yeah. So yeah, the hesitation was there, but like the commitment never was a question. It was
yeah.
more of, um, this is being married is just on paper. It's a government thing. It's blah, 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 blah. And yeah, there's some things that you still need to do, or like you still need to function within this world
Mm.
and the legal world, right?
Yes,
And it
yes.
really came up, like I said, when you were on the Camino and had you gone missing or something like that, we're not married. Like legally, we're not married. So there's no legal anything. And not that it just would have been more. And I wouldn't want that for you if it was me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I would, that's not something, yeah.
yeah.
So
Anyways,
that pushed that along a little
yeah.
bit, but it was never,
Yeah. And I mean, I've referred to you as my husband almost from the day that we started dating. Not quite, like that sounds a little creepy if I had, but I think we were only dating for about 6 months and I started writing my first book and I just assumed your last name on my first book and then went with that for 18 years. So now it's legal. And it does feel better.
it does.
It adds a kind of a different layer of foundational commitment, I guess.
Yes, and we did a nice little ceremony in our backyard. It was very personal. It was very all
It was
it
a
was
surprise.
surprise. It was supposed to be a barbecue, but
Yes, because we
well,
have an annual barbecue every year where we invite our family and friends, and we've done that since we moved into this house 13 years ago. So it was really not a shock to people for us to host our annual barbecue on the same kind of weekend that we've done it for the
but
past
were
13
were
years.
they shocked when they showed up?
Yes, they were. So it was very joyous, and to just have all of the people around us that, we love and they love us, and they're really there to just,
Celebrate us.
celebrate us and support us. So that was another big one for us this summertime. As you guys can see, we're in a new space. We're no longer in my downstairs office. We had one more child move out of the house. So we're now down from 7 to 2, which means we actually have an empty room in our house that we can claim as our own, which is another exciting transition for us. So we've got our walls set up, and then
Yeah,
we noticed today when we went to record, we're like, okay, so the camera's catching a little bit
yeah.
more than what we wanted.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But you skipped over, or didn't skip over, but yes, we have another child that has moved on
Yes.
to experience life on their own and in their own realm and whatnot. And that was a big deal as well, because, it's one of those things that,
It's a letting go
yeah,
process. Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yes, you need to go, but eh,
I want you to stay, maybe
yeah.
just a little bit longer, but also we want you to go.
But then we turn that into opportunity, right? Simple like this. We've created this space, and yes, it's a work in progress. It will change as we get going and
Yeah.
whatnot, but it provides us more privacy and yeah, just a space that we can really contact and focus on the things that we want to.
Yes, yes, because we're in a lot of creation mode right now about what we're wanting to work on, build together, as well as separately. So this kind of gives us a space to go, okay, this is where we get down to work, and this is where we do our things, and so
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of exciting actually. Um, so yeah, that was another big transition. And my book. It's done. Still waiting. Yes, I know that's the last conversation that we had on here, but it's still waiting on a couple of the beta readers to finish reading, and still waiting on a few bits of feedback from people. But I am hoping on bringing it out this fall. I've also hired a book cover artist. Galit's Galaxy, shout out to her. She does amazing artwork that embodies the divine feminine and sacred codes and light language, and like it's
Yeah, this is pretty beautiful.
yeah, really, really beautiful. So I'm excited to see what she's creating for the book cover. And so that's kind of like the speed of where things are. I'm in a patience kind of experience right now.
Couldn't wait.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
what I can say is I read the book. I was one of the beta testers, and I don't believe I had read the whole book that on our last show. I can't remember, but I can attest that it is a great book. It is something that, and I'm not just saying this because we're partners and
Yeah.
whatnot. It is a journey. It is a book that will make you question a whole lot of things in your life. It'll probably have you crying. It'll probably have you angry. It's a journey. It is an amazing book, and I still, yeah, I can't wait till that book is published and people can experience what I got to experience being beta tester because yeah, and I lived some of the experience.
Yeah.
So I try to approach it and read it from a third person or, remove myself as I'm reading that. And even at that, it was, yeah, it's pretty great work.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. We did go on a road trip at the beginning of August, and some of you may have seen my video or John's video or our son's video of us going zip lining. And John and I have gone zip lining in the past out in PEI, but it was over ground, and I want to say it was like 30 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it
Like
wasn't very high. I mean,
it was like from a wooden post to another wooden post.
it was still a little unnerving. Like it was,
Yeah, not like this though.
no, 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 no.
So this one we were 297 feet
Yeah.
above the ground, and zip lining across a waterfall. So it's like you're above trees, and it was a rush. And the reason that I bring it up is because we had a really interesting experience as we were leading up to it. So
That day or I mean, the whole
we're
road
just
trip
talking the
or,
zip lining, but we
yeah,
can go into the
yeah,
whole road trip too if you want to.
yeah. No, that's fine. We can talk about the zip lining, but the road trip in itself had so many little past
So we might as
synchronicities.
well just go into it because we're talking about it now. So we just went to we drove to the Bon Cher Caves in Ontario, which is up close to Ottawa, about an hour and a half from it. And these caves are really cool. They're about, what did they say, 250,000 years
Yeah,
old or something
roughly.
like that. And they're like naturally carved caves from water coming in from the Bon Cher River, and they were just discovered in the 1960s. So we got to go on a little tour of those, which was really cool. And then we drove into Ottawa. And this is where it started to get interesting. So
No, I was just we've been to Ottawa, I don't know, 4 or 5 times with all of the kids and
yeah,
whatnot. This time it was just you and Odin.
yeah,
So it's not like we've been to Ottawa before. We know the terrain, we know where we're going and all that kind of stuff. It's
yeah,
not like this is just a new experience in Ottawa, right?
yeah, yeah. So to recap on another time that we were in Ottawa, we had taken our kids to go to Calypso Water Park there, which is a fantastic water park. Shout out to them as
Check
well.
it out.
But this was, I don't know, 10 years ago or something that I guess we would have went. And I didn't realize when we were booking into the hotel that they were going to take the deposit off of our credit card before they took the money for the rooms. And it turned out that they took the money for the deposit the day before. So like it was just kind of some confusion around the deposit, around the book price or the booking price of the room, and there wasn't enough money on our credit card. And so I had kind of an argument with the guy at the desk going like, well, if you guys take the deposit off, I can pay for the deposit on my debit card, but I can't do it on my credit card. And
Yeah.
I can't send the money to my credit card because that will take 3 to 4 days. And it was just kind of like a stressful thing. And I've got all these kids out in the vehicle that are waiting to check into a hotel room. And so it was stressful. Anyways, I called my mom and her and her husband, they gave their credit card. So we were able to get it all sorted out. Everything was fine. But when we got into Ottawa this time, and I went to check us into the hotel, there was a man that was having an argument with the guy at the desk over his deposit charge because because there was a deposit charge on it, he wasn't able to pay for the room on his credit card because the deposit ate up too much money for what the booking room was. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like literally the last time we were in Ottawa doing the exact same trip as what we're doing now, because we were planning on taking Odin to Calypso Water Park the following day. And now this is showing up in my reality again. Like, interesting. I get to watch it, I get to witness it, but it's not me that's actually partaking in it. So it's just kind of that's interesting. So then we go out for supper.
So,
Oh, is there another part?
no, and that I was
Okay.
gonna say that's one. That's one.
Yeah.
But what we've noticed too, even the journey. So a lot of the time, the journey into Ottawa and Quebec and all that kind of stuff, it was very stressful.
Yeah.
Or we'd be very like tense about things. This time, and I'm gonna say it's a tribute to the work that we've done.
Yeah.
That it was very easy. There was no stress. It was just, okay, we're gonna just take things as they come
Yeah.
and whatever is. So it was just it
Yeah.
was very different than the past where it was
Yeah.
just like there was no stress at all. It was just like, yeah, let's just whatever happens, happens and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So
So then we went to a restaurant to eat and understand the last time that the three of us, me, John, and Odin, were on vacation together was when we went to France to go on the Camino, and Odin had seizures. And it was a very stressful time period, but we both actually handled it really well given the circumstances.
yes.
And then we came home, and we really haven't done a whole lot of traveling as just the three of us very far since that period of time. So, anyways, we go to this restaurant and we order our food. Well, actually, no, first we order drinks.
Yeah.
And when it came to John's drink, they did not have what he wanted. So he was like, okay, well, I'll just have this other drink or whatever. And that's fine. And then when we go to order our food, Odin and I are both able to order our food. John asks for what he wants. And she's like, we don't have that either. And so at this point, he's, feeling that kind of irritation that people feel when you go to a restaurant and you just don't have the food that you want, that they don't have it available. And then John kind of did a shift in his mind and he was like, okay, I could get mad. I could get irritated. I could get frustrated.
I was just gonna say people that know me or knew me before
Yeah.
could just imagine, oh yeah.
Because we both worked in restaurants, right? So I was a waitress for the longest time and he was the cook.
Yeah.
And so we both understand the dynamics of restaurants. I tend to feel bad for the wait staff and not the cooks. He tends to feel bad for the cooks and not the wait staff, or he holds them to a higher standard than.
Absolutely. I know what it takes, so I know what should happen. And when I don't see it happen, then I start to grade them. But that's another show.
Yeah. So anyways, but you did a mind shift.
Yeah.
In that moment, you were like, I'm not gonna allow this to bring me down or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very much, I could get upset about this, but obviously this is the path that has been chosen.
Yeah.
Right? It is no to this, it is no to that. So let's move on to the next. There's no need for me to get upset about it. Sure, a past me would have been upset, but it was more like, okay, there's more to this than just them not having these things available.
Yeah. So
which yeah, it did take a moment or two.
Absolutely.
But then I was at peace with it. It was good.
Yeah.
Until and then.
Oh, is your and then the food that you got? Okay. So go on.
Yeah, so you guys got your food.
Yeah.
And you guys had started eating. It was, I don't know, I'm gonna say 10, 15 minutes before I got my food. These guys were almost done. The food that I ordered, knowing that I know what it takes to cook and all these things, it shouldn't have taken as long as it did. We'll say that. So I could feel this creeping up that I was getting a little perturbed. I was just like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
And honestly, I was feeling a bit perturbed too, right? I think one of those kind of common experiences when you're out with your family and then you've got one person who's not able to eat, and it's like, well, here, do you want some of my food? That's nothing like the food that you ordered for yourself, but can this tide you over or whatever? And then you feel kind of guilty because I'm still eating, and you're not eating. And then when you got your food, it wasn't good.
No, it, was it worth the wait? Not really, but
Yeah, so we have all this opportunity to get angry, to get frustrated, whatever. And he chooses not to. So, kudos to him for choosing to rise above whatever the positionalities were that were showing up for him. At this point, I say to the waitress, I need to use the bathroom. Where are the bathrooms? And she said, they're over there to the left.
yeah.
But just to let you know, there is a man who's having a seizure on the ground by the bathrooms. And I went, okay. And I thought, well, this is weird because this is another flashback to another time, to the last time the three of us were out together and whatnot. And so I did walk past the man with the seizure and you do your little God bless him, whatever. And then I went to the bathroom, and as I was sitting on the toilet, the holder for the toilet paper, is it a toilet paper holder in
Yeah.
a restaurant bathroom? So it was flipped down. It didn't have the cover on it like it normally does. And on a sticker above the toilet paper said June 4th, 2023. That is the day we left for our Camino, the first one. So it was just kind of like, what is happening here? It was a very wild kind of, like, we were having access to the memories of the old timelines that we were on, but we were no longer
Affected
walking.
It was like witnessing what we had already experienced.
Yes, without
But-
having to participate in
Yeah.
it, I guess.
Yeah. We didn't have, yeah, we had no ownership of what was going on, right? Before we had these experiences, we owned those.
Yeah.
And now we were witnessing them. It was, it was
a bit bizarre, and an opportunity for us to kind of go, okay,
Yeah.
something's shifting here, something's shifting. So then fast forward, the next day we go to Calypso Water Park. It's great, it's fun. Again, if you ever have a chance to take your kids there, they will have a blast. I had a blast too. So,
Yeah.
like it's just an
Not just
overall good
kids,
day.
just-
Yeah. All kids of all ages. And then the following day we drove over to Quebec City. And the plan was to go to Montmessery Falls. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and for us to go zip lining, which is where this whole story began.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we'd both gone zip lining before, but it was much shorter than what this one was. And we're taking our son zip lining, who he's 12, he's almost 13. He's very cool at this point. Nothing terrifies him, nothing scares him. Yet we had to climb 487 steps to get to the top where the zip line was. It's nothing for him. I'm like having
He's
to breath.
running up the stairs.
It was also like 35, 40 degrees Celsius. Like it was hot.
Yeah.
And the sun was beaming right on us. And yeah, I climbed mountains, but those stairs just about did me in. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But as we were getting closer to the top, I had a lot of fear that was coming up. I was like, because on the zip lining thing, they're like, if you've had seizures or if you have epilepsy, you can't do this. And it's like, well, he did have seizures, but he doesn't have epilepsy anymore. So can he do this? And my mind is telling me you need to do everything you can to protect him. But also, in protecting him, that also means letting him do things that are going to terrify me. Right? Like
Yeah.
you gotta let him live.
Yeah, and just to kind of rewind a little bit. So we knew that we were going to go ziplining. We were both scared.
Yes.
We're both waiting for something to save us. So while we're driving, if this happens in our heads, we're not saying this to each other.
Yes.
We're like, oh, if I see this or this, I'm going to take this as a sign that this is a no-go, which we very well could have when we were in the restaurant with the seizure. It could have been, oh,
that's a no-go.
This is a sign that we're not doing this, but we didn't look at it that way, or we didn't take
We weren't vocalizing it.
No.
Which is what I was trying to get to,
Yeah.
is that I didn't, I thought I was the one that was in just a lot of fear because in my mind, the closer we get to the zip lining, the more I'm going, I'm gonna die, or he's gonna die, or Odin's going to die, or him and Odin will die, and I'll be the only one living, or I'll be the only one to die, and he doesn't drive, and Odin can't drive, so how are they gonna get home? And I'm writing my mom's name on the emergency contact form, going, oh my God, if she's the one who gets this call, like that would be horrendous if she got a call. She doesn't even know we're ziplining today. So I'm kind of hoping Odin's going to freak out and go, I can't do this. And then I don't have to do it because I'm going to be a good mom and I'm going to stay there with him. Well, he doesn't. Or,
Yeah,
well, he doesn't do it. Or maybe John's going to, freak out and go, he can't do it. And I'm thinking, well, he'll never do that because he's never scared of anything, you know?
yeah, and
I,
we're both having these thoughts as we're walking up these stairs,
yeah.
and he's just running up the stairs, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, so we got to the top and we, book in for the zip lining and then we get harnessed up for the zip lining and you just kind of go like, all right, well, I guess this is happening. And it turned out I was the second person in line. There was a woman in front of me and then it was me and then John and Odin. And so the guy, at first I thought, because I kind of shuffled into the back of the group
yeah,
and he's like, no, you two were at the front of the line, so you come up first. And it's like, oh man, I don't necessarily want to do this. And then we did it, and went across and it was great. I felt alive. I felt like, yeah, and I was terrified before, but doing it was like, oh, that's actually not even that terrifying. The most terrifying part is leading up to it and kind of going off that ledge, but you do realize, oh, I'm fully supported here.
yeah, yeah. And I just thought it was very interesting, like through the whole, we're having these same conversations in our head, not saying anything to each other, right? Because I was very much doing the same thing. Okay, so you and Odin are going to go first. If you guys are fine, then I'll go. And blah, 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 blah. And you're just waiting for somebody to save you. And no, it was amazing. It is an adrenaline rush, but it is also a lesson, right? It is, once you took your foot off of that step or whatever, you were free and you were flying, you were safe.
Yes, yes.
And it wasn't until after when we started really
Sharing with
debriefing.
each other what was
Yeah.
actually going on for us,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh my God, I was terrified. I was ready for us not to go.
Yeah.
And you said,
Well, I was just very similar, right? It was sort of like, yeah, I was waiting for something to tell me not to do this. And yeah.
yeah. And what in the kind of debriefing, what I thought was kind of the most profound thing out of that was that if he had started sharing with me his fears that were coming up for him, or if I had started sharing my fears that were coming up for him, the part of him that was fearful and the part of me that was fearful, for both of those to hear their fears kind of spoken in someone else's voice would have been like, oh God, that must be a sign. We've got to collapse this down. We've got to stop this from happening,
And that,
whatever. But the fact that we didn't speak it until after allowed us both to be able to expand.
well, it allowed us to expand, but not only that, it allowed Odin to expand as
Oh,
well, right?
absolutely.
So it showed that, yeah, we can persevere. And sometimes that's one of those life lessons. It's like, yeah, we all have these fears and we all have these conversations going on and we all have these limitations or these thoughts of limitations. But all you have to do is take your foot off that ledge and just let go and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that whole shot of adrenaline really just reinforces life. Like it just lets you know you're alive.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we had those discussions and we had not done it, how limiting is that for us and for Odin as well. So yeah, it was very interesting
Yeah.
communication.
Absolutely. And well, another thing that was interesting too is that we arrived at the parking lot at 2:24,
Yeah.
and 2:24 is John's kind of angel number. It shows up for him constantly. And then when we finally got to the top of these stairs that we climbed, I was like, I need water or I'm gonna die. Like that's my traumatization. I'm gonna die. Which, yeah, okay. Anyway, so I was like, let's stop and get some water. Odin wanted a slushie, you had wanted a slushie,
Yeah.
but they were out of slushies. So we ended up getting 3 cans of water and it came to 12.34, which my angel number is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 11.26. So either way, it was like we were both getting confirmation, like, hey, this is gonna be okay. But it didn't stop the fears from running. And I think it was such a powerful lesson for both of us in just fears can seem so real in those moments. It can be like, literally death is coming or something horrible is going to happen. And if you allow that to be the thing that stops you, you're never going to be able to truly experience like what is your greatest expansion? What is your greatest expression in that moment? Because I'll tell you right now, my greatest expression is not to keep both feet planted on the ground all of the time. It's
I mean, that's what we're here to experience, right? We're here to, and sometimes it was just that.
sorry.
I don't
Just
know what that was all about.
because I was going, hey, look at the camera because you kept looking at me. So I was trying to get
So I can look at the camera. Hi, hi, everybody. But anyways, now that
you.
now that I've lost my whole train of thought on that one, no, I do think that it is good life lessons in there, and it's we're here to experience life, and sometimes we have to get uncomfortable, and sometimes we have to look at the camera.
That is one of the things that we're trying to work on is remembering to look at the camera while we're speaking. I'm just gonna get goofy about it. So yeah, that was our experience in Quebec and uh, the vacation that kind of took us through different timelines and different opportunities. And I don't know that, sometimes you think, okay, so the universe is giving us these signs and these messages and stuff, but I think sometimes we're seeing ourselves being reflected back, like different versions of ourselves through different aspects of our lives where we've grown, where we've changed, where we've shifted. And we have these opportunities that show up again to go, like, you can see how much you've grown, or how much you've shifted, or,
And I think the universe does that, right? Just will show you these things. We just don't pay attention to them. I mean,
yeah,
we do, and not all the time. We're a little more sensitive and have been at, in the last few years, but how many people don't? How many people just go, that's that's interesting, that's similar, and they move on. They don't look at it and go, oh, that's absolutely what had happened to me last year, and these are all the other things, and this is what I did right, or this is what I did wrong, or here I am again making this decision.
yeah,
They just go, oh yeah, this is just life, and I'm here to continue doing this over and over again.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I've been there sometimes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you don't know, like, am I just making this all up at this point? Like
Well,
when you
that's
start
why
to see so many synchronicities, it's like, am I creating that? Like,
that's why I'm glad that we are together, because I don't know how many times in the last few months or years that I've said to you, I'm glad, because I would sound like a crazy person. Like, look at this. There's drawings that I would do that would show up, and
video or something a
yeah,
couple
it's
weeks
just like,
later.
there's no way, like,
Yeah.
there's not some sort of connection there. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody needs someone in their life that they can go, do you witness? It's crazy as I'm witnessing it because it can be kind of mind blowing and a little bit debilitating. Not debilitating, but like
Well, you
you
start
feel
questioning,
crazy.
yeah, you start questioning, and
Like, what are you tapped into at this point in time? And does anyone else see this kind of unfolding the same way that you see it unfolding? And really, what does it all mean?
that's where we go. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And let's break that down and let's look at that too. And hey, let's.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of some of our conversations right on the road trip after witnessing some of these synchronicities and whatnot. Was like, oh, well, where's this going to go? And how does that look? And what happened before? And you start doing the comparisons and whatnot.
Yeah. And just kind of keeping track of it in your mind of what is showing up and how is it showing up and how are you showing up Is it, the way that you've always shown up? Or are you reacting differently? Are you shifting? Because I think, I mean, sometimes we can react with that same old emotion at first,
Mm.
like at the restaurant where it's like you feel that reaction that's coming up.
Yeah.
And then, the higher mind comes in and it goes, okay, so we can also kind of look at it in a different way, kind of like the parent who's like, let's just redirection here.
Yeah. That's another thing. It's like you could be very upset. You can, but why? What's that going to do for you, right? And I think that's a good point. Is you could look at, am I showing up the same way, or have I shifted over a little bit?
Yeah.
If you feel that you're constantly replaying the same thing over and over in your life, you're probably making the same decision cycle, and you're just stuck in this loop. But if you can just shift a little bit over or make a decision, make the opposite decision or don't make a decision, it may change that loop. So you get out of that loop, or it might just cause it to be an oval instead of, like
Yeah.
it'll vary a little bit.
Yeah. And I think it's important too to like notice that, like, what is the timeline or like the timing of your initial response to when you get to kind of a shifted response? Because I think it, like, we don't want to bypass our emotions. We don't want to go, I can't have this emotion or I shouldn't have this emotion because I'm a spiritual person or whatever. So if you have anger coming up, it's okay, let's witness this anger, but then how long are you staying in it?
Yeah.
How long are you being in that anger? And it can be, it honestly can be as simple as there's a part of me that's angry right now. That's, I'm feeling pretty angry about that. I'm feeling pretty,
Yep.
frustrated with that or whatever. And in that, you just express it. And that can be enough to go. And I also realize that my anger is just, a positionality and it's tied to this event when I was 5 years old. And whatever else. Like, but it's that time frame of how long are you allowing whatever that reaction to be there? Because I think sometimes we beat ourselves up for having old reactions show up and we go, oh, I know I
You're
shouldn't
like,
have acted like
here I am
that.
again. I'm
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
But
Yeah.
if you've caught it, then you're doing something different. And sometimes it's that catch time that's like, oh, it only took me 20 minutes to catch that. Christ, I remember one time when it took me a month before I caught on to that,
And
So
sometimes it's just little shifts and it doesn't take a whole character change, folks. It doesn't.
yeah, yeah.
But anyways, we're almost getting back. See, we're repeating the cycle because now we're going back into the same show that we had before. And we we don't want that. Well, not that that show wasn't great, but hey, we made a commitment to change that dynamic. That was our vacation, and it was, yeah, there was a whole bunch of other little synchronicities that kind of went along with that. But yeah, a lot of good discussion and a lot of growth. I think that just on vacation, just looking at things that how we've changed or how we're, you know, dealing with situations in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then vacation kind of moved into the rest of summer, and it feels like it's gone by in a bit of a blur.
Mhm.
We're on the last couple of days of summer vacation before the kids are back to school. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you've been busy with, getting your stuff ready for your book. For me, work has been busy. So,
yeah,
and then, we're trying to still tie up loose ends of summer, going to see people and all that kind
mhm,
of stuff. And
yeah,
so, yeah, it has been like August seemed to just disappear.
yeah, yeah. But moving forward here on the Sacred Exchange,
Are you ready?
we are looking for more of a flowing conversation between
Yes.
us where we're talking more about like what's actually coming up for us in regards to what the topics are and stuff, and sharing with you guys how we process through these different things, showing kind of real life experiences
Yep.
through healing and how what that can look like, how we can hold space for each other and all that.
Yeah, I mean, we even just this weekend, right? We start like all week. Well, I guess we've been having this feeling.
You've
Well,
definitely had
I've
it.
had
I
this
didn't
feeling
have
there
it
was
as much
something.
yet.
So, what I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, Kate, there's something coming up. I can feel it. It's not a bad thing, but there's something that is about to whatever. Something's happening. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I'm just gonna sit with it and whatever how it needs to. come about, it's going to come about. And I'm just going to kind of wait. And this last week, I felt that there was a shift. There was something that was off. And it wasn't, again, wasn't bad, but it was just different. And it was like, okay, I always call it like a disturbance or a shift. And it's kind of like, you can see it out of your peripheral, but you can't really see what it is. And so I sat with it all week trying to figure out on my own, what is this? What is coming up? What is, you know, looking at work, looking at home, looking at myself and like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like, again, busy at work. So didn't, didn't really have the time through the week to have a deep conversation as we do. But Friday we did, and it brought a lot of clarity. And it's a conversation that we could have very well had here. And I
Yeah.
hope that that's kind of the idea is that we can share these type of conversations. And did I would say there was resolution to that feeling, but there was more clarity to it. There's things that you shared with me that made me go, okay, yeah, that makes more sense, or that um
Voilà. Okay, that works.
that it just, yeah, it made me start to think in a different way. It did lighten things up. Yeah, I shared it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't, again, it didn't make things go away, but it wasn't bad. It's just, it almost gave me permission to say, yeah, it's okay that there's a shift or a difference. Just, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think really what we came to with that was that sometimes we just need to give air or
Both,
vocalize
yeah,
whatever it is
yeah,
that is coming up. Because I was picking up on, I think it was Wednesday night, where I was like, something's a bit off.
yeah,
Thursday didn't seem like things were that off. And then Friday, it was like, okay, what is going on here?
yeah,
I don't understand this energy that you're in right now. So it's, it is when you can vocalize it, I think it is so beneficial
mm,
for the people that you're around as well, but most importantly for yourself to be able to just go, there's a weird energy right
yeah.
now. There's something I'm picking up on that I can't express.
Yeah, and basically that's what I was doing all because I'm explaining to her, I'm explaining to Catherine, this is what was up. I'm trying to figure out where this is. And I'm not trying to burden anybody with that. And much in my old way, I used to go into my head and
Yeah,
like try to figure out problems and all that kind of stuff. I was still doing that in that space.
yeah,
But then at the end of the week, I was able to go, okay, I'm I'm at the end of my wits. I
yeah,
don't know what this is, but this is what it is. There's something.
yeah.
And although it's still, like I said, in my like peripheral, there's more peace to it.
Yeah. And it actually brought up a lot of conversation
Oh yeah.
this weekend. A lot of really, really good conversation. And one day you guys are going to be able to access those conversations because we record them for the most part. And record some really good aha moments and stuff like that that happen. We just have to go through all of those recordings and
Yeah.
listen to what we've done. But yeah. So our direction moving forward is to bring more conversations like this to light, bring it forward for you guys. Um, Upcoming in the month of September, we have September 7th. We're going to be back here talking about what are you harvesting? So what thoughts are creating your reality right now?
What seeds did you plant?
Yeah.
What seeds did you plant back when it was the summer or just before the summer? What were you planting and now what are you harvesting?
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's going to be
somewhat
a great
talking about plants, but we're not. We're talking about
talking about life.
yes.
And then September 14th, we're going to be doing an ego recap again, just to help us understand more about the ego versus soul versus higher mind versus the parts. Like, what does it all mean? Let's bring it into conversation.
What does it mean to you?
Yeah. And then September 21st, we're going to be talking about life during transition and change, as well as life after transition and change. And then September 28th, we're going to be talking about focusing on the big picture. So lots of great topics. And I'm feeling intuited to say right now that those topics might change depending on what's coming up as we get closer to them.
Yeah, I mean, these are just rough topics, right? The whole point is to have this free-flowing conversation.
Yeah,
And we just kind of wanted to have kind of some rough ideas of what we were going to talk about
yeah,
and whatnot. Funny enough, we were talking about harvesting because I just went and harvested the rest of our
your basil.
my basil and thyme. My
Yeah,
tomatoes are already gone, so most of the squirrels got most of those. But I think about that, like those seeds were planted, now we're harvesting,
yeah,
and another synchronicity that we put that as a topic, and then it's one thing that happened today. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's going to be some interesting conversations. I will still put out there that, well, we will, you know, so
Go ahead, sorry.
I would love to hear from you guys. And, like Catherine said about CK sessions, it's free. You can book with me. Um, we'll show you where you can book and whatnot. But yeah, always looking for some sort of conversation with you folks. I think it's important that we share, but I also think it's important that you share with us as well. We are all in this collective together, and we all need to support each other. So the only way we can do that is really being clear about our communication and participating with each other.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, and the reason that he's like, I'm gonna share it, Catherine might not. It's because I was like, maybe they don't want to have the conversation, and I don't want them to feel obligated to have the conversation. I want us to be able to just speak this. And, I believe we have something to share. And do I wish people would have conversation with us? Absolutely. But also, I'm not going to, I guess, attach to the idea of people need to have conversation in order for me to show up.
Yeah.
So it's like I just want to keep showing up and yeah, hopefully have conversation. And if conversation is just with you, then that's also 100% okay with me. So yeah, anyways.
It's going to be an exciting year, folks. Buckle up.
Yes. Have a great night, everyone.
Take care.